Okay, welcome back. Now, what I will be streaming today is a continuation of building a voice-controlled assistant in C Sharp. And by all means, drop some messages in the chat if you want to ask why I'm doing it a certain way or you think I could be doing it a bit differently. That would be awesome. Let's build this together. So before I jump into the code, I just want to do a quick recap of why I'm building this and what we're trying to achieve in this project as well. Okay, so just going to run through, the whole idea of this really. So the idea is to build a generic voice assistant, or codenamed Project Geneva, because I think every project should have a cool nickname, and this is no different. Apologies if you've seen these before, but I thought it's probably worth a quick recap for new viewers. So there's a few goals of this project. I want to iteratively, so I not all in one go, build this voice controlled assistant using C# and the system.speech namespace. I'm going to host it in GitHub. I'm going to gradually add use cases and requirements to it. I'm going to dog food it. So that means I'm going to try and be using it as I'm building it as well. So you might think, well, why not just use Alexa? That's a good point. So I thought I'd cover that as well. So for starters, I want to be able to activate it by not just saying Alexa or Amazon or computer. I want to call it whatever I want. I'm going to start off with Geneva, but we're going to make it configurable. I want more power and more control. So I want it to not only just run online skills, I want it to be able to run executables, perform long-running tasks, background tasks, and stuff like that. And I also want to be able to run offline with Alexa and some of the home assistants. If you lose connectivity, that's it. They're next to useless. So I want it to be able to run offline to a certain degree if I lose connectivity for whatever reason. So initial steps, we did all this last session. We got quite a lot into the README file, and I've run through that. That's where we've got our use cases and requirements. We build it in Visual Studio, and it's up in GitHub, and I will push it again after this session as well. Okay, they're more ending slides, so let's close them. You're all caught up now. So let's quickly look at the README file. Because this is where we have the requirements. We're using the Moscow prioritization. So anything that's an M is a must, anything that's S is a should, anything that's a C is a could, and anything that's a W is a won't. Probably won't include any won'ts in there. Now, since the last session, I have actually thought of a couple more requirements. I thought I'd add them here. So I was going to have must run minimized, i.e. in the system tray. So that's probably going to be a should. I can't really say that's a must because I'm not building that from the beginning. So we'll call that a should. Okay, what was the other one? I think that was it really. Yeah, it's probably obvious, but yeah, I'm gonna have to write some unit tests. I've not done that yet. And then so these are the requirements which you can read in your own time. They're all on GitHub as well. I think I mentioned that. But then the use cases, I've got some really basic ones first because it's going to build it simple and then make it more complicated. You know, the KISS principle: keep it simple. Stupid. Okay, I've got some to-dos as well. This is good. Right, implement configuration class. Yes, I absolutely need to do that still. One thing I have missed, which is a sin if you ask some people, is implement unit tests. So that's probably what we'll be doing some of that as well today. We'll also be doing some of this, encapsulate Geneva into separate classes, and then we'll see how we get on with this other stuff. The reason I put implement male voice by default is that I don't like the fact that Alexa and some of the other voice assistants have a female. I think the fact that they have these submissive roles is not very gender neutral, if you ask me. So I'm going to have implement male voice by default, but also in the requirements you'll see that be able to switch it between to male and female, because why not? We can do that. Okay, so let's jump into the code. if I can find it. That looks like code. There we go. Now, so one of the main problems with this is where we got to last session was we just got some basic speech recognition working, and I'll run it again. And all it's doing is it's running the speech recognition session, and it's detecting Geneva and Jasper, and that's all it's doing. And then it's outputting what it's detected with a degree of confidence. And that was really just as introduction as to how this speech recognition works as well. And we're going to have it replying as well, so the sort of the speech synthesis part, which is the other half of that coin. But we can't keep that in this program class here in this executable. So what we're going to have to do, one of the first things we're going to have to do is maybe create a new class library to encapsulate that in, and also have some configuration class, we mentioned that as well, and also some unit tests. So I'm going to add some new class library projects. So many project types these days. It's hard to find the ones you want. I suppose it's not a bad thing. Class library.net. Yes, I'm actually using .NET Framework, not Standard or .NET Core, just because I don't think that the system.speech namespace this is supported in .NET Core. I think there's a couple of ways of getting them working, but you have to use reflection. It's a bit hacky, but we're going to be using the .NET Framework just because it works in that. Again, I'm pretty bad at naming, but whatever we name this, we can rename it in future. So it's no big deal. It does not have to be perfect for the first time. So I've got my library, and I'm also going to create one for my unit tests as well. I just used it. Where is it? Unit test. I did a bit of a ask around Twitter the other day as to what kind of unit test libraries, frameworks people are using these days, and a lot of people said XUnit, closely followed by NUnit. Now I know NUnit and I don't know XUnit, so I'm going to be using NUnit for this. I say use NUnit, I've not used it in ages, so let's see if I can remember how to get it working. Seem to remember I might need to get one of these console runners or test adapters to get it appearing in the test window. We'll see. I might not keep that file name general test, so just calm down. But it's just to make sure I remember how to do this. Test fixture. Test fixture. Anyone who's watching wants to chirp in and help out, that's absolutely fine. That's got to be test method, I think. I've not done this in a while. Is it just method? Or is it just test? I think it's just test. Test. No, that's rubbish. Test. Okay. It can't be test. Because it's not a method. That's why. Looks a lot better. Now. If I jump up to test window, if I can find that, Windows, tools. Never remember where it is. Because it's got to be in a test. Test Explorer. Is it going to find it? Is it going to find it? Kind of want to put it there. Yes, it is. Brilliant. I'm kind of hoping that's just going to fail straight away. Get everything failing. Red, then green. That's not gone red. Why is it not gone red? Ah. Is that going to go red? Not run. Why is it not run, people? Just fixed. I seriously have forgotten how to do unit tests. That's embarrassing. Not done them in a while. Just going to Google that real quick. I'm missing something obvious. Test case. One of you could have told me. Test case, let's try that. Still not ran. Okay. We are not doing well today. Let's try that again. Probably should have looked this up before the stream, to be honest. Hey ho. This is just test. I'm so close to just abandoning the test right now. And then just moving on to something else. And coming back to the tests. Let's put a pin in the tests. And we'll try and remember how it works. In the meantime, let's go back to the class library. And we said we would have a configuration class. And we also want to sort of encapsulate the actual running of this speech recognition engine, and not have it running inside the console app or like that, because that will soon get out of hand. So let's have a class in there, and let's just call it speech engine for now, and we can always rename it. Or do we call it Geneva? Speech engine will do. No, because it's going to do speech and voice. It's quite voice activated assistant. Yeah, let's call it that. That's as good a name as anything, I suppose. Do you know what? I've misspelt it. Yeah, that's a lot better. And what we'll have is probably want to pass it in a configuration, maybe an interface or something I can mock out. That will help with the unit tests as well, if I get them working, that is. Seriously, what is that about? And what we'll do is, once we've instantiated that, we'll call like a start method just to start that, get it running. And then the code we want is this kind of code. So I'm just going to rip this out. We're not going to be needing this for a while. I didn't actually show you this running, so I'm going to show you this running. I'll skip right over that. Sorry about that. So let's show that running to begin with. Geneva. Jasper. Geneva. Geneva. There you go. So that's it. If it thinks I'm saying one of them words and it's got a confidence of over whatever I set it to, this confidence level, if it's over 96% confident, it'll output it. Yeah, because you don't want false positives. You need to set your confidence quite high. Okay, so that's it running. So we just need to copy that logic into this other voice activate assistant class and then call that from this executable probably. And then later on, we'll worry about how we're going to minimize it in the system tray and stuff like that. Those unit tests are still bugging me. Right. The culture I'll probably get from the configuration anyway. So let's just grab that. Let's copy and paste vast swathes of code. Add missing references. And then this culture, let's say culture dot configuration dot culture. Yes, I know that property doesn't exist yet, but we're going to create it. Let's go to that. And what we'll do is by default we will set it as the one we were just looking at, which was, I thought, English. This one. This is the boring stuff before we actually get it to say anything or recognize anything, but it has to happen. And then if in case we want to override the culture, we'll let someone do that. that will do. That'll do for now. Value. Okay. Then what have we got? We'll get that from the configuration. It's not liking that there. Why is it not liking that there? Ah, that's why. And then it's also looking for this event here, this speech recognized event. So we need to bring that in. Confidence level. That seems like something that should be in the configuration. So let's go put that in there. That won't exist. So we'll create that property. And we will grab the value that we've got in here, which is 0.06, 0.96, beg your pardon. Let's do that. Yeah, I could be doing fancy inline bodies, couldn't I? You should ask me if I want to change my code to do them. Why is it not asking me if I want to change them? Yeah, here we go. Use expression body for accessors. Yes, I suppose I could do that. It saves me, what, 2 brackets and a word? I'm fine for now. Okay, so where are we at? We are, that class is now building, which means, hopefully, that I should be able to get rid of most of this, but before I delete it and regret it immediately, I was going to comment it out, like all good coders do, and then just try what I'm trying to do here. So let's do var configuration equals new configuration. And I know that some people won't like the class name configuration. I don't like it. I could call it Geneva configuration, voice activation assistant configuration. I might rename it in future, but I'm not that hung up about it. Okay. Yes, we want to add a reference to the library. Then we want to instantiate the, what do you call it? It was voice activated assistant. Oh, yeah, we need to pass it in the configuration. And then we're going to start it. I just had a thought in that method there, the fact that that's just going to run while I was waiting for a console line, read line. I'm not sure I like that. I could say while, I could have like an is running boolean and say while that is true in there instead. I'll leave it for now. In fact, I'm going to add a to-do. Move reference to read console read line. To replace. Get rid of it. Assuming it'll work. That should do exactly what it was before. I probably don't need that method either. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Oh, I'm going to increase my font size, by the way, so that you can see. And also, yeah, that'll do. Jasper. Geneva. Fabulous. Okay, so this is good. This is good. So that means that we have no longer any need for this code, and we have moved it to a class, which is good. Fabulous. Right, okay. Oh, don't need that either. What's next? What's next? Let's make it do something. Let's make it do something. So, okay, let's go back to our README file for a minute, and I have lost all my icons, which is annoying. Implement in configuration class. Well, we're kind of on with that. Implement unit test. Well, that was just an absolute car crash. Just because I've not used unit tests in unit in a while. Okay, but encapsulate Geneva in separate classes. Yes, we kind of started doing that. Implement passive and active states. That's something we need to move. That is something we need to move. Right. So I implemented it in the last one, but never got around to using it. I do, however, need to move it. In the console application, I've got this listening state enum, so that needs moving into this new class library. I'm going to have a new subfolder for enums because that's just what I like to do. In some projects, I'd have an entire separate class library for enums, but let's just do this. And yes, I know I'll need to change the namespace, so I will do that. Is there some sort of helpful tooltip that can pop that says, yes, there we go. Making our life as simple as always, Visual Studio. So the idea with this enum is that we have two listening states. The first is passive, and the only thing it's listening for is the wake word. So this will be it's kind of the name of the assistant. Once it hears it, it knows to load in a bigger vocabulary of things to listen for, like the commands we're going to build for it. And then once it's heard its name, it's going to enter this active state. And now it's listening for the command. So this is what these listening states are. And I might add more in here. I might have one for sort of like executing command one. So I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, that's moved over. I can get rid of that from there. Is everything still building? It should be. Okay. So let's get it doing something. Let's go look at the README file for the first use case that I want to build for it. And it's a simple one, like I said. And that's going to be, what time is it? And it doesn't need to go off online to figure it out. It's a simple command. It's one we can hopefully write a unit test for, and then when we add additional commands and functionality, make sure that we're not breaking previous commands that we've got it to recognize. And you might think, well, how are you going to unit test it? Because you're not going to listening for the spoken word. Now, the system.speech namespace and the the speech recognition engine has this thing called emulate speech, so that you could call it and just pass in some text, and it would just feed that into the recognizer as if you'd said it. So we do actually have a way to unit test these things. The people were thinking when they put that together. So let's go back to the code, and we will start thinking about how we want to recognize commands and then do something afterwards. Now, I haven't given this much thought, so I'm probably just gonna wing it. So let's see how that goes. If anyone in the chat has some ideas, then yeah, definitely just drop them in the chat. We'll see how we get on. Where are we at? So how are we going to do this, people? Right, let's have a think. We need a command object, surely. And that command object can be activated by a number of phrases. Should we try that? Let's try that for starters. I just love reusing keywords. I've got configuration, and now I'm going to have command. I was being sarcastic. I don't like reusing keywords. Yeah, especially when you end up pulling in another namespace that's got that exact class name in. No one likes that. Command. Is that specific enough? Speech command, voice command. Let's leave it as command for now. Doesn't have to be perfect. We can rename this stuff, like I said. Right, okay, so command. Let's give it a name. It's more of a way of identifying what that command is rather than anything else. And let's, for this command, we're taking the what time is it? Is that even a command? Let's leave it as command. I want it to be able to, out of the box, recognize that command using different phrases. So not only do I want it to execute when we say what time is it, but also like what's the time, and we can also write unit tests for them. So let's have an array of strings. And what would I call this variable? Command activators. I'm really bad at my naming tonight. That's such a bad name. Activators. Phrases. Command phrases. Recognized phrases. Phrases is better than activators. Anything is better than activators. Okay, phrases. Is it obvious that that's recognized phrases? Let's instantiate a few of these, then read the code back and see, as we read it back, if it kind of makes sense. Let's have a constructor. Yeah, and let's say what the name is. I mean, yeah, I could make these immutable, but we'll just leave them as non-immutable for now. String good name, and let's do string phrases, and then I kind of like want to have like an action, like a delegate, and have different, because different commands are going to do different things. So some of them are going to be, some of them are going to be executing executables. Some of them are going to be going off and making HTTP calls and returning some results. Some might just be, like in this case, just returning a voice. Let's have action. See how that goes. Action. Action. Can you tell I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be doing with that yet? Okay, let's let's continue this train of thought then. So when I instantiate this, I think I might have jumped the gun a bit. Why am I getting it to recognize commands when I've not even got it recognizing its wake word and changing the listening state? So let's rewind a bit. I think I've gone off on down the rabbit hole a bit prematurely there. Okay, so let's add a wake word to the configuration class. Let's do that for starters. It must be prop 4. Yeah, okay. Right, so what we say, string. Let's do wake word. Quick question to the viewers: if you feel like interacting, if you could have your voice control assistant responding to any name, what would it be? I quite like Jasper, but I've also wanted a cat called Jasper. But we've got some famous ones, haven't we, in sci-fi lore? What was Iron Man? He had Friday. He had something else. What else did he have? Was Friday the girl voice? I can't remember. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with Geneva, I think, for now, which is the project name. But the thing with the wake words is you really want to choose one that's not doesn't sound that similar to commonly spoken phrases. So if you had a wake word as Dave, then it's going to potentially match every time that you say save or cave or lathe. So you want it to sound a little bit peculiar and not like other words, because you don't want these false positives. That's why I quite like Jasper and Geneva. Jabberwocky, that'd be a good one, but it might sound a bit silly if you keep saying that out. So wake word, wake word. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, let's get it all in one line. Otherwise, it's going to be inconsistent and horrible. Right, so we got our wake word. Yes. I'm going to make that overrideable. And again, another unit test can be when it hears this wake word, is the listening state being changed? Or do I want to make this quite very event driven so that when it hears the wake word, it activates a wake word detected event or something? Could do that. Okay. Right, so we got our wake word. What we're going to do? So, when we start this, we're setting this speech recognized event here. We are adding these choices. Well, let's add the wake word to that one for starters, shall we? Configuration. Wake word. I might even rename wake word. It'll do for now. Then I'm going to rename the variable to be initial choices, because as soon as we have activated the assistant by saying the wake word and the listening state changing to active, not passive, we're probably going to be passing in a bunch of new possible things to listen for. So I'm going to rename that to initial choices, passive choices. Yeah, I could do that. Passive state choices. And therefore those are the choices that you can hear in the passive state. Let's do that for starters. initial. I'm going to go with initial choices. The other thing that we want to do, which it might be by default. Oh, no. In this voice activated assistant, we need a property for listing state. If I can type. Come on. Is it not picking up the enums? It's not complaining. Nope. To be daft. I was expecting that to go a different colour, I'll be honest with you. Okay. Why is that not on colour? Do a quick build. I don't trust it. Says it succeeded. Is it just my screen? It's actually gone like a yellow. I think that's like a yellow. Okay. It's just my screen. It has changed colour. I see it to green on the stream, but it's certainly not green on my screen. Maybe I need a new monitor. Or 3. Right, okay, so listing state is that. Now, help me out, people. By default, is it just going to be default to the first one in the list? Surely it will default to that one. 'Cause it can't be null, so it's got to have a value, so it will be that one, surely. Yeah. That said, should I explicitly say what it is? Is it obvious? I could explicitly say it here. I mean, it's not doing anything because it is going to be already passive, but is that easier for reading to say? And by the way, it starts off as passive. Yeah, for readability, that's probably better. Let's do that. I can make that field read only, it says. Let's do that. Am I missing any others? No. Okay. Right, so we have this listing state, and then what we will do is let's get rid of that. It's interesting for this wake word. What I want to do is not just have, and this is again why I think it could be a bit better than Alexa, is not just have Geneva, i.e. the wake word, but morning Geneva or hey Geneva, and then that would activate it as well, which I guess it would anyway. But I guess I wanted to understand that it was a salutation, not just it was said in the anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's not important right now. Right, so where are we at? So we've got the wake word, and then what we'll do is when this gets recognized, what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of some braces. Yeah, otherwise we're just going to be nested and nested and nested. So let's get some more screen real estate, shall we? So let's say if it's less than the confidence level, I could just say return, but I kind of want it to output something as well. Like a bit of a short circuit, so to speak. And then I'll just do console, right line, confidence level not reached. What I probably should do is replace my console write lines with some sort of end logging stuff, and then hook in the logging to the console. Obviously I could also do it to the file, but do it that way. Small steps. Let's do it like this for now. console line confidence level not reached, and then we'll say what that was. Do a bit of string interpolation. I love saying the word interpolation. We can even test that, you know. Do I want it? Okay, let's just test that. It'd be interesting to see what that would do. It's probably not. No. Let's try it. Because it should only ever execute when. Ooh, null exception. Null exception. Do you want to close that prompt too quick? I didn't see where the no exception was. That makes sense. The wake word. I'm not saying it by default. Let's can I do that? Ah, no, bad place. Bad place. Let's do it here. I'm going to quickly check the health of the stream because sometimes I've not pressed the buttons I'm supposed to be. That's alright. It seems fine. Right. That doesn't look right. Gosh, I hope that's recording. Yep, that looks a lot better. Right, wake word. I did say I was trying to see what that would do. Oh, semicolon. I saw that as soon as it hit start and I was like, no. I'm going to be reading about unit tests tonight. Oh, Geneva. There we go. So I kind of just said it quickly and not very close to the mic, and it was only 91% sure, and it's told me confidence level not reached. Geneva. 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 Jasper. Jasper. Oh, that we didn't add that to the list. Geneva. Here we go. Maybe I need a different wake word because it would appear I can't even say it. Geneva. Geneva. I had a holiday and I went to Geneva. Yeah. It's tricky getting that balance between a word it's not going to get you a false positive, but also one that's tricky enough to not get you false positives. Yeah, anyway. So what we got now? We've got this configuration class. We have got this here. Okay, that's what we're doing. So at this point, we can set the listening state to active. Let's do it after the console. Just put it there. Okay. So then, what we want is it to do something and figure out, match the word that it's recognized with the right command. Okay. So it's going to be something like var command. Just trying to think if I actually pass in the commands and keep it internally into this, or do I keep them separate? Separate might be better. Separate might be better. What I'm thinking is having a static method on the command class. Do I want it static? Let's go with static for a second. Based on the recognized phrase. And then execute the action. Except with the action, all I'm going to get is it to do something. Do I want it to return the result of what it's doing? And therefore it should be a function rather than an action. Down the rabbit hole we go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I want to know the results of the action just in case it's failed for whatever reason. So let's do command result, action result, command action result. I spend most of my time just thinking of names for things. Let's call it command result. Again, I can change it. Let's have that actually returning a command. Is that a string? No, it's not. I meant that to be the string. Words, phrase. What property is it I'm looking for? Text. Next, I'm thinking it's going to not be happy. Is it going to choose it as title case? Is it going to be lowercase? Oh, how is it going to treat that word? Oh, it's going to be the one that's in my list of things to match. Just thinking maybe I need to make that sort of case insensitive. Right, not for now, that. Not for now. So let's make that a... Do I want to make that static? Yes, fine for now. I'm going to regret that. Why do I think I'm going to regret making that static? I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to regret it. Never mind. And then this action, let's go to the, it might be easier if we just go to the command. Rather than this action, I'm going to have this return a new type of class called command result, maybe. Perform action. See, I don't like the word action because action is a noun, not a verb. I'll do that in a sec. Command result, let's create a class for that. Where's he put that? That's fine. Command result. Okay, and I'm going to make that a function of... This is where I forget how to use functions. So in is the action, and then as I'm typing, I'm regretting what I'm typing, and then we'll have the return of that be a command result. But now I'm thinking, right, now I need parameters to pass to this command action. Yeah, maybe we change this to be more of like a request response sort of pattern. Command request, command response, command result. Damn it. Yeah. Let's have it as action for now. I keep saying that a lot, for now. But I can't address every little problem with my code that I find immediately. I need some of it to bed in, at least for a little bit. Right, so this static command. What that needs to do is do some sort of lookup to a list of like a dictionary of an action with an array of strings. No, I had it in my head how I wanted to do this. It's gone. Let's rewind a bit. So here's the wake word. It changes the listening state active. It allegedly gets the command from the word that was spoken, and then I want it to execute command. It executes better than action anyway. Yeah. Why can't I do that? What did I make that action again? Oh, okay. Just bear with me. I think I'm going to have like a execute class in here. The lack of parameters is bugging me. Yeah, one for a later day. Okay, so we're going to execute that command. Yeah. I think I'll feel a lot better once I've got the first sort of what time it is working, and then we can just make it more elegant, rename some stuff after that. Okay, so we got execute. Okay. Okay. Ah. Gosh darn it. Command result. Command result. Can I, if I do that, is it going to say, no, I don't want explicit cast. I created it too soon. Oh well. That's completely wrong. Yeah. Command results. Bear with me. I'm just going to get some lines of code to actually not be read. Pass in the action. Yeah, okay. Okay. I just need to change that type, don't I? Don't often use functions. Whenever I do, just needs dusting off a bit. Right, okay. So when I do the execute, I actually want to run the action. How do I execute the function? Invoke. Invoke. And then that will be return me. Yeah, that will return me the. Come on. That should. Keyboard malfunctions. Give me a second. When I say malfunctions, I obviously mean I was stupid enough to hit the insert key. Yeah. Yeah, I might have to remember. Might have to look up how to do this stuff. That's action. Dot book. Better pass an action. Really? That doesn't seem right to me. Why would I pass it the parameter of the method that this delegate encapsulates? Starting to regret my choice of using functions over actions. Let me just remind myself how the C# functions work. Well, that doesn't explain it. Let's try again. Oh, 0 for 2. Right, let's try again. Go for 3. Anyone on the chat wants to chime in with how we can use functions in this case, please do. So I thought I just used func with the input and output types, but I forget how you get the output types. Oh, here we go. I think my search is getting confused. When I'm saying function, I don't think I'm searching for the right thing. I think what I should be searching for is func. Yeah. It just return. It's not as simple as return, is it? Cannot function. Cannot complexity. Cannot convert the function to command result. That's fine. What I want is the result of the function, which should be that. Might rename. What? It's starting to bug me now. Return results. Come on, this should be simple. This might be it. Not doing. Don't need three things. Function. But surely you can pass around. So Crittermon says, hey, I think you have to pass a parameter of type action to invoke. Okay. What, dude? Call the invoke method with, but then what do I pass it? It's down to function to take a action and return a command result. To take an action. Right, okay. But that's the action. Yeah, I can try it. It just feels a bit. That doesn't look right to me. I've even got the function right. I've got a function that takes an action but returns a command result. Oh, no, it's not what you meant. Okay. What did you mean? Because I'm a bit stumped right now. That's delicate. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I need more Googling or some more help from the chat, whichever comes first. You have to do something like invoke. Oh, really? Let's try that. Don't know why I need the action type there. Well, neither do I know. What that should do is that going to return. Okay. Well, thank you very much. It's building now. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna hard code this to be. I'm gonna have like a list of commands somewhere, but I'm just gonna hard code this one to return a command for the what time is it? I will owe you one if this actually works. I'm not saying it won't work, but yeah, I need to practice those actions, I think. And then what's the last one I want? The actual function. See, this is where it will be apparent either what I'm trying to do or what I'm doing is completely wrong. So, okay, I think I know what you mean by I'm not even sure what I need the action for. I can do the logic inside the function. Is that, yeah, I see your point now. I might have to rip that out. Can you have a function with just one return? Can you have a function with just a return parameter? Sorry, I didn't explain that very well. Yeah. Just give me a second. Just want that. It's not going to compile anyway. Instead of that action there, can I even do that? Probably doesn't help that I'm calling that action. There's nothing to do with action. I'm just going to try this. Yeah, I think I see your point about not actually needed the action. Then what does that make that? Right, so what does that become? No, I can do that. And that can become delicate? No. Do the thing and then return the result. No, it's just a new command. Is it? Okay. Probably going to get this to speak and we can look at the system.speech synthesis part, but for now I'm just going to do console write line and say the time is if I do that, is it going to say 8:52? But then I kind of want it to say AM or PM. I can't remember what that is. How do you say that in the date time? I'll have to look that up. That'll do for now. And that command result, let's leave it like that for now. It doesn't actually matter what that does. Obviously I want it to sort of indicate some sort of pass or failure, but I also want it to eventually have like, gosh, different types of parameters or return types. I run the risk of making it more complicated than I need to. Okay, so then, and that is just return action. Yes. I might rename that from action right away because it's just confusing me. So gosh knows what it's doing to everyone else. Action. What should we call it? Command. Command to execute. Steps. Let's leave it for now. So I kind of feel that that's got a chance of working. I'm going to make a note that this eventually needs to look up against a collection of commands, of which what time is it would just be one of them. In fact, what I could do is, what time is it? And then what was the other phrase I said? What time is it? What's the time? I presume it's going to handle pronunciation marks like that. We'll see. Okay, so what have we got? Let's see if that builds. Sorry, it has built. So let's recap. If we get the confidence level right, yeah, so at this point, let's just see. So that should be, yeah, Geneva. It's only detecting Geneva in here. At this point, what I probably should be doing is changing the choices, changing the things, changing the phrases. I won't do that because I want to see if this works, but changing the phrases to recognize, but to do as well. But for now, we've hard coded that, so that's just the command that's going to return is the what time is it command, and then when it executes it, it should say to the screen, what time is it? Sorry, the time. Geneva. 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 That's it. I'm changing the wait word. I'm not sounding like an idiot every time I want that to recognise it. What can I say? What? Let's change. I could just change the confidence level. That's good. False positives. I felt like I was having better luck with Jasper. Let's go back to Jasper. And I'm never ever going to go on a holiday to Geneva. Let's do Jasper. 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 There you go. The time is 21:24. So there we go. At least we've got it kind of. It's retrieving a command, albeit hard coded, and then executing a function that we are telling it to. So that's not too bad. But so next, let's see if we can get this listening state flicking between. So what we'll do is, in this voice activity assistant now, in the speech recognized event, what we might have to do is check to see if it's passive or not. because we'll also have to need some sort of timer to then change it back to passive. There are... Sorry, Critterman. Don't know what speech recognition library is that. Looks cool. It is the system.speech DLL, or the system.speech namespace that's built right into the .NET framework. I believe it's what's possibly or probably being called whenever you turn on any sort of voice stuff in Windows. I think that's all the speech recognition in the system.speech DLL. So I hope that answers your question. It is really easy to use. I'm making a hash of it now because I'm trying to make it do some more advanced stuff. What is cool about it as well, which you'll like now, seeing as I've got a captivated audience, I'm going to make it say something. But I'm not sure you're actually going to hear it. I'm not sure if I set my audio channels. So the speech, what you can do is, so let's go to that command. I could actually create these as separate classes, but what I could do is, I'm not sure this is going to work. Yeah, no, it is really good. The system.speech namespace is, it's a not a little known secret. It's just not something that's not shouted about enough, I don't think. I'm amazed more people don't use it, because in like 2 lines of code or a few lines of code you get it recognizing things. In 2 lines of code you can get it saying things, which I'm going to try and make it say something now, but I'm not sure you're going to hear it. Speech synthesis engine, I think I want. There's 2 parts of the speech system.speech namespace. It's the speech recognition and speech synthesis. Synthesis engine. Speech synthesizer. I think that's what I want. You can do quite a few cool things with it as well. So what you can do is you can get it to output words to a WAV file. Some of the cool stuff. You can get it to change voices as well. System speak. I think it's just speak. So I might have to turn my speakers on to see if you've got this, but I don't really stream that much on Twitch or use OBS, so I have no idea. So I've got this laptop here on mute, so I don't get feedback. But I'm not sure if I need to set one or more audio channels. We'll give it a go. So my name is, and let's get the name from the configuration. We don't have that. We don't have that. Okay. Of course we don't have that. Why would we have that? Plan B. That's a good point. How can I get at the configuration in the commands? I suppose I could pass in a copy of the configuration in here. Don't see why that would be a problem. Anyway, let's just make it say something dumb. I'm going to run this. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell me if we even hear what it's saying? I bet you won't. But let's try it. Jasper. 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 So that would have said something, but I didn't hear it, so there's probably no way you could have heard it. I'm gonna turn my speakers up a bit. This is probably going to work so badly. Let's give it a go. Jasper. Jasper. Jasper.
Hello there, my name is hard to pronounce.
Fantastic. So you heard that. Cool. I'm going to cover that back to mute. As we go on from this, obviously I'm going to be getting it to say more and more things, so I will have to figure out how to do that. What you will notice that it was quite a robotic voice as well, and I've got a couple of ideas I could to challenge that. If I know what it's going to say, if I've got canned responses like good morning or good afternoon or you've got mail waiting for you or something, then I've actually had the idea of hiring a voice actor, which you might think that sounds silly, but you wouldn't believe the things that people will do on Fiverr.com for $5. And there are loads of speech actors that if you give them a script, they'll send you all the WAV files or MP3s of them saying the words. So yeah, I'm going to get the script and then just get these saying MP3 or WAV files. Yeah, especially in this economy. Okay, so that's speech synthesizer. Like you say, two lines of code, and you can make it say things, which I think is quite cool. It's good again if you're building quite accessible tools. So say if there's someone who's who can't see very well or they've got impaired vision, then you could augment your apps to actually speak out responses as well. Right, but there's other cool things you can do in the speech synthesizer. Going off on a tangent here a bit, but it's worth it. You can get the installed voices and you can loop through them, because as well as male and female, there's like an American version, an English version, and they've even got culture-specific ones. So there'll be like a Norwegian one or a French one, and you can actually, if you install the language pack, I think it is, you can get them to say English words but with like a French accent. Yeah, select voice by hints. Yeah, so what you could do is you can say I could do console dot, I could get the install voices, loop through that, and then once I know what's installed, select the voice by the name of it. I think it's like Mike. I think go by first names like that. You can, like I said, you can set the output to a WAV file. Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a load of states we can, events we can hook into as well. Anyway, that's not what I'm doing right now. Let's leave that there. Might need it later. So the time is that. So we did say, yes, we were. Remember what we're doing now? We were changing this state, weren't we? And then, so if it's now active state, I'm just going to put some comments here so it makes sense. If it's an active state, I don't want it to. I no longer want it's. I can't type today. Want to reply to the wake word. It's already awake. I don't want it to reply to the wake word. So what I could do is I could dynamically change the choices in here. I remove them or add them, or I could have two lists of choices. with me. This is probably not the right place to put it, but I'm going to put command choices. Command choices here, and this will be, and I might move this out to another class, but this will be actual commands that it will be able to understand if the state's active. So don't worry, I'm not gonna load it in at this point. I'm just gonna populate it and then probably move it somewhere else. So at this point, the command choices are only going to be what time is it and what's the time. There's probably a better way of doing that add, but I can do like a string of parameters. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could just do that. Oh, it takes in params as well, so I don't even have to pass in an array. I've never been a big fan of params, but I'll use it this time. Sure, why not? What time is it, and what's the time? Hang on a second. Can I do that in here? Yes. Just gets better and better. I'm thinking, why would I want to put it there? Well, I'm going to put it... Let's create a new method. What I really want to do... No, well, I'll create it as a property. Can't even do that. Let's have it as a public variable for stars. It's obviously not going to extend because I'm going to have dozens of these eventually, and I'll have one in its own classes. But for now, let's keep it simple and keep here. So there's the command choices. Do you know what? I could put the initial choices. No, initial choices is fine there. I'm only using it there, so I guess I should only declare it there. Except I might be changing it. I might be flipping between these choices. Kind of feels like I need a method to, yeah. Let's leave it like this for now. What we want to do, so we kind of want to, I no longer want it to reply to the wake word. I want to reload the grammar with the command choices. Bear with me. I really need to distinguish what state it's in at this point. If listening state is passive, which is going to be most of the time, then what's that? Gone there. Then change the listening state to be active, and then that's when I'm going to be wanting to move in these, and then else. I guess I could do an else, but I know a lot of people, including myself, really want to avoid brackets where we can. So if you're at this point, then you must be in an active state. Yeah, and then if you are here in an active state, yeah, it's absolutely fine to go get the command and then execute it. But yeah, we need to go back to this point and actually reloading that grammar in the speech recognition engine, which means that we might need to move this, maybe. Yeah, gonna have to, aren't I? Because if I want to load new grammar on that class, on that object there, I can't do it outside this block at the moment. Okay. What does that even mean for the using? It's fine. It's still going to not dispose of it until it gets here. That's fine, I think. So let's move that. That's going to tell me that I can make it a read-only modifier, I think. I'm not sure if this is going to work, by the way. Okay. Yeah, of course not. So, where are we at? Then I'm probably going to want to create a new method for loading a grammar, which would encompass probably those lines, which is fine. That's fine. What I could do is, yeah, let's try it. I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's create two methods. Let's do load passive grammar. Yeah, let's load passive grammar. Choices. Let's do grammar. Is it ER or AR? And then we'll do a load active grammar. Pretty sure it's AR, isn't it? Yeah, AR. Of course it is. 50-50 chance. Right, here we go. So that's my passive grammar. Get my initial choices, which we did say we could simplify. Just might as well do that. Use a line of code. We could even, I don't know how you feel about this, but you could even move that into there. We wouldn't need that. At what point does it become bad code? Don't think there is any easy answer. I'm struggling with control. Cutting and pasting. I mean, does it read well? Grammar builder. I'm creating a new grammar builder with new choices of that. That's not too bad. I will. I can live with that. I wonder if there's even a parameter for that culture. Not seeing one. Min max repeat, never seen that before. Anyway. So that's load passive grammar. We want a load active grammar. I might have a play around with these method names. What is active grammar? Why is my cursor at the hand? Ah, still a hand. Don't tell me I've got a function key sticking down. That would be bad. That was weird. Okay, so we've got load passive grammar, and then I know I've copied and pasted and not changed that yet. I will get to that. Okay, it's here. I think I probably need to clear the grammar first. So listening state is to active, and then we want to do load active grammar. There's a load of async options for a lot of this stuff as well, but I'm going to keep it sync at the moment because it seems to work anyway. So if I'm loading a grammar, I kind of want to, because there's a load grammar here, I think I want to clear the grammar first, probably. Clear grammar? Nope. Unload all grammars. That sounds like it's what I want. I mean, is this too much work? Could I just have the wake word in this list of grammars and then just detect if it's said it or not? No, I'll continue down this path for now. Second guessing myself. There's a bit of code duplication here that could probably be refactored out. Okay, so we want the choices here, don't we? So we want all the different types of commands that you could do, which is these at the moment, these command choices. Don't know why I've got that below the constructor. So I'll never be able to find that again if I'm looking for it. Do I even need that there? Nothing's gone red, so it doesn't look like I need it yet. Can't be referencing it. So then in the load active grammars, yeah, let's have that. And eventually this will be some long list, but for now it's fine. So let's just replay this through. Checks the confidence level. If it's below the confidence level, it'll say the confidence level's not been reached. I could throw an event at this point that I could hook into in case I want to show something to the user. I could, catch that event and then say, I'm sure you'd said something, but we couldn't understand what you said. Do you want to repeat that? Else, must have understood. If you get this far, it's understood what you're saying. It was in the current grammar. If the listening state is passive, i.e. it's only listening for the wake word at this point, then change it to active and load the active grammar. Okay. I've done that. Now what? Like I said, I need some way of switching it back to passive after an allotted amount of time. Just like Alexa does. If you say Alexa then don't say anything, or even if you do say something, it will time out after 30 seconds, something like that. So what I'll probably do is create like a stopwatch, which when the state is changed to active, then set the stopwatch going, and then when it hits the timeout, change the state back to passive. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Very conscious that my unit test didn't get anywhere, and it's kind of feeling that I should really be making sure that I'm creating this in a way it can be easily tested. But that was my bad at the beginning. I completely forgot the syntax for NUnit. So my homework is to go back and check the syntax for NUnit and actually get it working, so I'm not wasting our time learning how NUnit works. Okay, let's just have a recap on the README file and see how well we're doing. Activated by name. Well, we defined a wake word and we're setting it to active mode, so that's kind of, we're doing all right on that front. Active name should be configurable. Well, it's settable in the configuration class. So yeah, we're not doing too bad at that point. Have passive and active states. I'll say yes. I'm just going to put like a tick for that one because we do. It's not fully there yet, but we do have them states. Starting passive state, yes, we've done that. Should work offline. Well, not really much for it to do yet. Can't really tick that one. I mean, activated by name. Yes, I guess it is. And then when hearing wake word, change to active state. Well, I could really feel like we should be having unit tests for these and then me only ticking these if the unit tests pass. But yeah, don't worry, there will be unit tests. I just need to pull my finger out and get them working. Let's do console.writeLine and say we'll change the state. I think that needs to be one of the things in the to-do list, is just to remove all these god awful usages of console.writeLine. They're serving a purpose at the moment though. Right, so where are we at? Okay, let's try that. If this works, then I will happily tick that that requirement. Jasper. 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 I can't believe the threshold is 96 and I'm getting 95. Jasper. There we go. Listening state changed to active. So then eventually we'll get this to kick off like the timer, and then after 30 seconds, which is actually a bit on the long side, we'll make that timeout configurable as well. It changed back to passive. Okay, so that's, I'm going to tick that. Where are we at? When hearing a wake word, change to active state. Yes. For what it's worth, it's doing that. After a predefined time in active state, change to passive state. Yep, it's getting on a bit, it's getting late, but we could if we wanted, or certainly in the next stream, one of the next things I'll be tackling is putting in this timer or this stopwatch that after this predefined time, which is configurable, change back to the passive states. Yeah, this other stuff, we're doing all right actually. So what the use case total time, what time is it? What the use case is, I'm only going to say it's successful if it's actually speaking it out. In fact, we could do that. We could do that. Let's get it speaking the time. And that might be a good way to round off the evening. Yeah, it's in the function, isn't it? Maybe my font's so big, I can't find anything. Where's my function? Now that's the grammar. There's not that many lines of code to get lost in. Is it in command? It's in command. It's hiding in command. Right, so what time is it? Let's do... Why didn't I do this for the previous example? Okay. The time is... I'll grab that. And then I forgot how to do AM and PM. I'm doing a quick Google to see how easy that is, because if it's super simple, then there's no point we shouldn't put it in. C# date time to string AM PM TT. Okay, are they going to tell me there's no easy way of doing it? TT. What a great name, David Jesus. Let's try TT then. Put that TTC there. Now hang on a second, this isn't going to fire, is it? Because it's only going to listen for the passive ones. I need to fudge it again. Tell you what, let's... How am I going to do this? It's because it's... It's only going to get here if it's in an... I need to return that. Change the state to passive. Oh no, if it is passive, change it to active. Load the active grammar. Oh no, that's fine because we were fudging it. Yeah, well, let's give it a go. Jasper, 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 Jasper. I didn't even have my speakers on, so that was pointless. Sorry for the noise. Jasper, Jasper, Jasper.
The time is 21:59 p.m.
Let's mute that again. So there you go. That's at least kind of doing what this command was going to be. But we have skipped to the bit where it needs to be activated by the wake word first, and then when it's in active state, then listening for what time is it or what's the time. But that's going to be easy. Yeah, but I think I will leave that for next time. So let's, in fact, I will tick that from the use case. The use case is working, it's just that the logic to activate it isn't quite right. I think one of the next use cases after this one is going to be running executables, specifically browsers. So eventually I want it to say open Google, or Google, I don't know, Boris Becker, or I don't know why it came into my mind, and then other things like show me the news and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go through our to-do. So we have implemented a configuration class, probably not finished yet, but we've done it. Unit tests, I completely failed on that part, so can't really tick that. We've started doing that into separate classes. We've got passive and active states, although I'm not going to tick it because I don't think it's fair until we're doing that timeout and it's swapping back properly. Oh no, in fact, that's the next one down, so I will tick it. Implement tell the time use case, or kind of. Implement male voice by default, not done that yet. It seems to be female by default. Investigate different voice packs. Yeah. Yes, we're not doing too badly. Not doing too badly at all. It feels like once we've got the bare bones of the program running, we're going to be able to easily, with this function-based approach, just add in the words to listen for, and then the code to go execute the things, and then the rest of it is just code around that and just tarting it up a bit. Cool. So that is probably the end of this stream, going for 2 hours, which seems fine to me. Thanks ever so much for watching, and we'll come back for part 3. And I do appreciate your input, Critamon. Really helped me out, reminding me what the differences between actions are, functions are. That was very, very helpful indeed. Thank you very much. But I'm going to end it there for the night, and I'll see you for part 3 at some point. Take care. Bye.